21st of October, we're going to experience a lovely new moon in Libra. And at the same time, the ruler of this new moon, which is Venus, is also in Libra. Very powerful. Not only that, the dispositor or the ruler of this new moon is having a great harmonization to a trine with Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. But the new moon itself, because it's at 28 degrees of Libra, it's going to relatively square, not exact, but square Pluto in Aquarius by degrees. Not necessarily by sign, because this new moon and its dispositor both are in air sign, while Pluto is also in air sign. So it's going to square by degrees. But either way, this is going to be a lovely new moon because the dispositor is in a lovely and powerful condition. So this new moon will ask us to create something new or to take some new steps in terms of our Libra part, the Libra part of our charts and the Libra part of ourselves. Relationship, beauty, harmony. So this is my simple and concise take on the effect of this new moon in Libra and Venus in Libra for all 12 rising signs. For the first rising sign, we will go to Aries rising, the most accurate, followed by Aries sun and Aries moon. For my dear Aries rising friends, this Venus transit in Libra as well as new moon in Libra will highlight and will add additional lovely energy to your 7th house. Because for Aries rising, Libra is your 7th house. 7th house is relationship, committed partnership, business partnership. This is also the house of audience, the house of your this is basically the house where you're committed to one-on-one relationship with other people, whether it's romantic or business. You also have to remember 7th house is open enemies. So those people that you considered as your enemies and are open or not secretive, this is the 7th house. So Venus will smooth things out in terms of 7th house, and this new moon will also help you to garner new energies in terms of your 7th house. Maybe you already have a partner and you're doing new stuff with your partner to strengthen your relationship. You also have to remember the ruler of this new moon, which is Venus, is in its own sign, very powerful, and Venus is making a good aspects towards Uranus in Gemini and Pluto in Aquarius. Uranus is in your 3rd house, right? Siblings. Pluto is in your 11th house, friendship. Uranus is sudden epiphanies. Pluto is transformation. So Venus will help you to transform your friendship and will help you to discover surprising things regarding to maybe your siblings. But one thing is for certain, Venus and this new moon will highlight and will beautify your 7th house. For the second rising sign, we will go to Taurus rising, the most accurate, followed by Taurus sun and Taurus moon. For my dear Taurus rising friends, this transit is important. Why? Because your chart ruler, which is Venus, is currently in your 6th house. Venus is in its own sign, Libra. It's very powerful in Libra, but Venus not necessarily comfortable in the 6th house. But either way, Venus is powerful. It will help you to smooth things out, beautify things related to your 6th house, because for Taurus rising, Libra is your 6th house. This new moon will also highlight new energies, new chapter in your effort in terms of your 6th house. So what is 6th house? Your physical health, your daily details, chores, daily work. This is the details of your work. Basically, this is work. This is also about pets. So if you're trying to look for a job, it's a good time to try. It's a good time to manifest new moon, and also its ruler is very powerful. All right? Venus will beautify or will help you in making your life better, because the sixth house is the house where you make the daily details of your life. This is the house of improvement, basically. Venus will help you in that sector. This new moon will help you gain maybe new energies, new effort, right? New jobs, like I said earlier. Venus will make a very good aspect towards Pluto and Uranus, so transformation and also sudden realization. But one thing is for certain, if you want to take care of your health, start a new health regimen, this is the time. Start a new or try to find a new job, this is also the time. For the third rising sign, we will go to Gemini rising, the most accurate, followed by Gemini sun and Gemini moon. So for my dear Gemini rising friends, this Venus in Libra as well as new moon in Libra will highlight and beautify your fifth house. You're lucky, Gemini. Why? Because Venus is very powerful in Libra, and the fifth house is the house of joy for Venus. Not only that, new moon is here. So this new moon will help you maybe to start a new effort in terms of your hobbies, your creativities, your self-expression, romance, love is also fifth house. If you want to try to have children, this is also a good time. Venus is here and also new moon is here. You can get pregnant if you're trying to get pregnant. You also have to remember, this is also the house of children. Maybe you've been having not so good relationship with your children. This is the time. This is the time to beautify again your relationship with your children. But of course, you have to look at your overall natal chart. If you have planets in your natal chart, my dear Gemini rising friends, that make a good aspect towards this new moon and this Venus in Libra, the results will be certainly good. If making hard aspects, maybe there's some delays, but in the end of the day, Venus is here, Venus is the ruler, and Venus is making good aspects towards transiting Pluto and Uranus. So, sudden epiphanies, Uranus, and transformation, Pluto. Whatever it is, Venus for you, Gemini rising, is very powerful in the fifth house, and this new moon is ruled by Venus. So, about children, creativities, and your self-expression. If you need to start something new, do it. For the fourth rising sign, we will go to Cancer rising, the most accurate, followed by Cancer sun and Cancer moon. For my dear Cancer rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will highlight your fourth house. This is the house of home, family, your mother. This is the house of your properties, your ancestry, your emotional foundation. Venus here will beautify this is the energy. If you want to beautify your home, do it. Venus is here, powerful. This new moon will also add additional energy for you to start something new in terms of your home, your family. Make sure that Venus here will help you to make sure the harmony of your family. Because for Cancer rising, your family is important. Venus and new moon in the house of your home, take advantage of this energy to beautify and harmonize your home. For the fifth rising sign, we will go to Leo rising, the most accurate, followed by Leo sun and Leo moon. For my dear Leo rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will highlight your third house. This is the house of communication, siblings, gadgets, travel, short travel. It's a house of skills, knowledge. This is the house of your vehicles. Those things, if you want to beautify those things, beautify your vehicles, making amends or improving your relationship with your siblings, this is also a good time. New moon here, start something new in terms of adding new knowledge, right? Gaining new knowledge. Or just a simple thing as traveling. Venus will help you to make travel comfortable, short travel. So just make sure you take advantage of this very, very lovely energy in your third house. For the next rising sign, we will go to Virgo rising, the most accurate, followed by Virgo sun and Virgo moon. For my dear Virgo rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will highlight the second house, money, resources, food. This is basically a very, very good time for you to add new portfolio in terms of your money-making schemes. Basically, if you want to make more money, new moon and Venus is ruler, very powerful. Do it. Make sure also you pay attention to your spending, because second house, Libra is a good energy, but sometimes if you want to spend beautifying whatever it is that you want to beautify, Venus and Libra, make sure you watch where your money is going, because sometimes Venus, right? Venus loves things beautiful, but sometimes it can get overboard with it. But thankfully, Venus is making a very good aspect towards Uranus and Pluto, sudden realization and transformation. But you also have to remember, this new moon is going to square, not an exact square, but going to square Jupiter in Cancer. And new moon and Venus in the second house, the energy is squaring Jupiter in Cancer. Well, you can get overboard. You can get overboard with expenses in terms of beautifying whatever it is that you want to beautify. But this is a good time for you if you want to add your income stream, to find a new income stream. This is a good time. For the next rising sign, we will go to Libra rising, the most accurate, followed by Libra sun and Libra moon. For my dear Libra rising friends, you are the star. Because Venus, your chart ruler, is in the first house, is in you, your body. Not only that, this new moon is also happening in the first house, you, starting something new. The first house is your appearance, your body, your aura, your energies, how people perceive you, right? So if you want to beautify yourself, change your appearance, this is the time. I'm suggesting after the new moon. After the new moon all the way to early November, you can beautify yourself. You can change your appearance, because Venus is there. Venus will help you, definitely. This is your chart ruler. So this is the time. Remember, first house is it's not only about appearance. It's basically about anything you want. New moon in the first house and its ruler also in the first house in your sign, your chart ruler. Anything that you want, first house. Make sure you take advantage of this very lovely energy. For the next rising sign, we will go to Scorpio rising, the most accurate, followed by Scorpio sun and Scorpio moon. For my dear Scorpio rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will highlight your 12th house. This is not a traditionally so-called material house, a 3D house. This is the house of the ending. This is the house of the mental health, rest and relaxation. This is also the house of bed pleasures. This is the house of the hidden things behind the scene. So this is the time for you, if you want to recuperate, if you want to rest, if you want to take care of your mental health. If you've been having a very stressful day because you have Mars in your first house, so extra effort, but sometimes you can experience burnout if you're not careful. This is the time. Venus will help heal your mental health, will help to soothe your psyche by resting. New moon is here. Take advantage of this very, very beautiful energy to rest and to take care of your mental health. For the next rising sign, we will go to Sagittarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Sagittarius sun and Sagittarius moon. For my dear Sagittarius rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will highlight your 11th house. This is about friendship, networking, social media, hopes and dreams, and your long-term goals. So Venus will help you to beautify those things. Beautify your relationship with your friends. Beautify your social media. New moon is here. If you want to start something new in terms of your networking or social media projects, do it. If you want to beautify your social media account, do it. If you want to add new friends, improve your relationship with your friends or your network, this is also the time for that. Remember, 11th house is also the house of gains. Gains from the 10th house. Gain from your career. Extra money could come in. This is also the house of long-term goals, right? Maybe you want to change your long-term goals and want to beautify or redefine what you consider as long-term goals. Remember, Venus is making a good aspect towards Pluto and Uranus. Sudden epiphany Uranus and transformation Pluto. You can do it. Make sure you take advantage of this very lovely energy of the new moon and Venus in your 11th house. For the next rising sign, we will go to Capricorn rising, the most accurate, followed by Capricorn Sun and Capricorn Moon. For my dear Capricorn rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will beautify, highlights, and improve your 10th house. Career, public image. If you're a celebrity or you want to be famous, extra energy could come from this, from Venus in your 10th house. People will like you more. People will appreciate what you put out there in the public. Remember, 10th house is also career. Your career might get a boost, or at least Venus will help you to smooth the edges in terms of your dynamics in your career. This is also the house of status. Venus and new moon here could help you to gain new status in terms of your 10th house. Just make sure you appreciate your relationship, because Libra is relationship. Appreciate relationship that you have in your career, nurture it, as well as make sure you beautify it with the energy of Venus. And if you want to search for a new job, this is also a good time because new moon is here. For the 11th rising sign, we will go to Aquarius rising, the most accurate, followed by Aquarius sun and Aquarius moon. For my dear Aquarius rising friends, this new moon in Libra as well as Venus in Libra will highlight your 9th house. 9th house is travel, optimism, philosophy of life, your basically your broad-mindedness. This is the house of luck also. This is the house of foreign things, foreign lands, guru, teachers. This is also the house of publication, universities, higher learning. This is the house of religions. Venus will help you to beautify or at least smooth the edges if you've been facing problems in terms of 9th house things. New moon is here. If you want to travel, if you want, finally you're making decision to travel, this is a good time. Pick a spot or pick a place and then just travel. If you have the means, of course, and the time. But Venus will help you to strengthen the optimism and the positive vibes of the 9th house, as well as the new moon, of course. For the last rising sign, we will go to Pisces rising, the most accurate, followed by Pisces sun and Pisces moon. For my dear Pisces rising friends, this new moon in Libra, as well as Venus in Libra, will highlight your 8th house. This is not traditionally so-called, well, this is not a traditionally so-called good house. I'm not saying this is a bad house, but this is the house of karma. This is the house where you, well, in Vedic astrology, this is the house where you cleanse your karma. The house of purification. 8th house is related to sex, intimacy, other people's money. This is also the house of transformation, death and rebirth. The house of the heavy stuff, the house of psychology, the house of secrets. In this house, you are forced to look at the dark side of your life. Venus here, Venus is, yes, traditionally Venus is not countable in this house, because Venus, of course, not countable in the 8th house. Venus is also in detriment in the original ruler of the 8th house, which is Scorpio. But Venus is very powerful here. Venus is making aspects towards Pluto, of course. Pluto is the original ruler of the 8th house. Venus is also making a good aspect towards Uranus. So you can transform yourself if you want. New moon is here. Another theme of new transformation. You also have to remember 8th house is also the house of money. This is other people's money, investments, big money. Of course, it depends on your natal chart, of course, and the timing, of course. But in general, Venus can help you spot a potential in terms of investments. New moon will also help you in that part. But you have to do your research and look at your very own personal natal chart. But in general, Venus will help you to soothe and smooth things out, or smooth the edges of the difficulties and the intensity of the 8th house. Do not be afraid. Venus will help you, and this new moon will certainly help you if you want to transform.